Welcome to Healing Her Feminine, the podcast for high-functioning women ready to stop performing wellness and start embodying it. I'm your host, Lindsey Alexis, a somatic and functional practitioner. Here, you'll find grounded insights, soul-led healing, and practical tools to support your hormones, nervous system, and return to your feminine rhythm. Let's begin. Guys, today I just want to preface this. If you are watching this on YouTube, apologize for me not looking directly at the camera today. I am having some technical difficulties and it is annoying. If you are listening on Apple or Spotify, then you don't have to worry about all of this mess that's going on in my life right now. So let's begin. Today we're going to talk about the 5 signs that your adrenals are in burnout or that you have adrenal fatigue. I have seen so many women who have experienced this, and 9 times out of 10 they don't even know it. And then you go seek help for it, and it's kind of one of those things that's like it's easier if you catch it earlier than it is if you catch it later, because a lot of times it could actually lead to hospitalization. So just be wary if you're feeling any of these signs. Get on the ball with it now instead of later, because later is always a lot more worse. So with that being said, like I said, it is something that is often overlooked. We are just holding so much in our day-to-day lives. We're often tired, or we're wired and tired, or we just feel off and we can't name it. It's one of those hidden symptoms. I mean, that's the title of this podcast, right? This episode, the hidden signs. So I see you. I know you're out there. I hope you hear me today. I hope this message finds you. And also to know that, again, you're not alone. So many of these things I talk about on this podcast, many women are going through, and you are not alone. And nothing is wrong with you. This is just our society, and luckily we're becoming more and more aware every day that things have to change. There has to be a shift. So why adrenal health matters. So let's start with, what are your adrenals? Where are they? What do they do? So your adrenals are tiny glands. They sit on top of your kidneys. They are responsible for managing your stress response, your energy, your blood sugar, and your hormones. They are part of your lymphatic system, and that is your hormonal system, right? So women, we are expected to be everything to everyone all the time. And when we're expected to do it all, our adrenal glands are often the ones who are going to be working overtime. And when they get depleted, the symptoms are easy to miss. They're very subtle symptoms. So today I kind of want to help you recognize what these signs are, what these symptoms are, so that your adrenals can actually get the proper support that they need, that you can take the loving, gentle action towards healing them before you hit a wall. Because like I said, when you hit the wall, a lot of times women end up in the hospital because they are just literally burnt out, okay? So let's get to it today. Sign number 1 is afternoon energy crashes. So we're talking the classic 2 or 3 p.m. crash in the middle of the day. You start your day okay, but by that time in the afternoon, your energy just completely tanks. You reach for your coffee, maybe your soda, just something with sugar or caffeine that will push you through the rest of the day into the evening. What ends up happening, or why this happens is your cortisol levels are off. Okay. When your adrenals burn out, your rhythm of your cortisol ends up getting out of balance. So instead of a gentle, like steady curve, throughout the day where it spikes, instead of the gentle curve, you're getting these spikes and crashes, right? You're getting this up and down of cortisol. And so you're going to be wired in the morning, and then you're going to be wiped out by the afternoon, and then you hit the caffeine button, fill me back up, and you go right back up your cortisol levels, and then you come right back down by the end of the day. Hopefully you come back down. A lot of times you will continue to stay wired and tired, and then you have sleeping problems, which then domino effects into the following morning, and we just kind of see this cycle repeat. So again, if you're saying yes to this, then know that it's just not like a normal tiredness, right? This is your body's way of letting you know that it's time to reset. So here's what you can do. Swap your afternoon caffeine for a mineral-rich snack. Think pumpkin seeds, sea salt, a smoothie with greens in it. Okay, these are all going to be nourishing, and they're going to balance your cortisol levels along with your blood sugar. All right. Then take a 5-minute movement or breathwork break instead of pushing through. We talked about in the last episode that this is something that I personally have had to work through, is learning that these breaks throughout my workday are actually more beneficial to me than me just powering through and trying to get it all done. I have to learn to give myself grace, and I highly recommend that all of us as women learn how to give ourselves permission and grace, right? Permission to push it until tomorrow, and then grace to take these breaks in the middle of the day. Another thing that I want you guys to do, if this is you, is to hydrate. So dehydration often worsens these energy dips. So make sure not only are you getting water, but you're also getting in those electrolytes that I talk about almost every single episode. My family and me, we use Ultima electrolytes. You can find those on Amazon. I will link the link below in the description box for you. They have 0 sugar added to them. They're all natural, no dyes or anything like that. I know if you get liquid IV, there's a lot of sugar in it. And with my son having type 1 diabetes, sugar and carbohydrates is something that we keep a very, very close eye on. So he actually can't have that. Sign number 2, salt or sugar cravings. Right? So if you're finding yourself craving the chips, craving pretzels, chocolate, especially when you're stressed out, again, you're not alone. I've been there. I still have tendencies towards this. And then I even actually had it today where I caught myself like going for something chocolatey, and I was like, whoa, it's not the chocolate you want. It is the magnesium in the chocolate. It is protein that you need, all these things, right? So I just started to tell myself this, and I had to reset. And so I actually ended up going and making a protein smoothie as well as a protein kind of lunch thing. And it completely reset myself, and I'm no longer craving sugar. So when you're stressed out, try not to go for these things. And the reason why this happens is because chronic stress tends to deplete the body of minerals, right? Especially that sodium and magnesium. Your body gets smart. It craves what it's missing, right? So if we're low in magnesium, like I just said recognize I was, then your body's gonna tell you, hey, let's go get something sweet or salty to fulfill that I need magnesium, even though those things don't necessarily, well, chocolate does. Dark chocolate has magnesium in it, but chips and like pretzels and all those carby things they're not going to have the magnesium that your body's craving. So you'll end up actually just continuing to eat them, more of like in a boredom type fashion than in a fueling the body kind of what your body needs, right? So, okay. Again, if you feel like, okay, so here's a caveat to this. I don't want you guys to beat yourself up at the same time either. I don't want you to be like, oh, Lindsey said that if I feel this way, I shouldn't go for the sweet and salty. I shouldn't go for the chocolate. I don't want you to put pressure on yourself to try to avoid those things. I want you to choose an alternative, if that makes sense. So it's not about being disciplinary with your body. It's about what your body, recognizing what your body actually needs, right? So like I just said, I went for the chocolate and I stopped myself and I was like, wait a minute, that's not what I want. What I want is magnesium, right? So we're recognizing this is the craving, this is the root, and then this is the actual solution that's going to get me the actual results. So again, I'm not one to tell you to not eat those things. You can totally eat those things, but don't do it in a capacity of trying to replace what your body is craving, if that makes any sense, right? You just have to be more aware and intuitive of what it is your body actually is asking for so that you know how to direct it appropriately. So what you can do is, again, instead of the chips, you can add a pinch of sea salt to your water. If you're getting the electrolytes in, the electrolytes should have these minerals in it as well, so that you really aren't going to see that craving as often. Again, going back to the dehydration aspect of it, if you recognize that you're craving these sweets and salty and sugars, maybe try that first. Drink some water with some salt in it and see where you're at. And then if that hasn't satiated that feeling and you want to actually go get some food, then make sure you're getting food that has that magnesium in it, right? So things like leafy greens, avocado, even bone broth. And then if you are truly craving something sweet, like let's say it is the week prior to your period, right? That's when your progesterone levels are really high. Maybe you really do want something carby, really sweet. Try pairing that with a fruit, right? Something like Granny Smith apple and some almond butter, right? That's going to stabilize that blood sugar. Again, it's just about being aware of what the symptom is, where it's coming from, and how to actually solve it without just kind of putting a band-aid on it, let's say. All right, sign number 3, sleep issues. Going back to what I just mentioned about being wired and tired, right? So maybe you're dragging all day, and then when it's time to go to sleep, your mind just clicks on and it starts racing. Or maybe you wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and you're wide awake for like an hour before you can go back to sleep. This has happened to me in the past a lot. I've finally gotten it under control. It was happening during that time that I've mentioned before where I was in that car accident and was just really in this nervous system kind of wreckage state. The sleep was not coming. The stress was all around me. I woke up like jaw clenched together, like hurting type stuff. Dreams were very vivid and weird. It was a thing. I would wake up and not be able to go to sleep for like an hour. I'd have to like take a bath and reset, all these things. It was a work in progress. Luckily, I've gotten through it since then. But again, these things happen all the time in our life. It's not something to beat ourselves up about. It's just something that we work through and let our nervous system know that it is safe. So again, why is this happening? So adrenal burnout disrupts your cortisol levels. Cortisol is directly tied to your melatonin as well. So the rhythm between these two hormones is disrupted. It's out of balance. Your nervous system is stuck in on mode, even when it's past the time for you to go to sleep. So if you're lying awake and you're replaying your to-do list or waking up anxious in the night, again, you're not alone. all of us go through this multiple times in our life. It comes and goes. Just again, recognize it and know what the path is to correct it and get your body back on track. What you can do is, like I just mentioned, taking a long bath when that happens often works for me, or even just a shower, just something to kind of reset your nervous system. Cold water works. If you want to do warm water, that's fine too. But just something that like changes the pattern, but is also calming to you and your body. So it could be reading your book, right? If you read at night, that's something that you could do. You could also do some breath work exercising. You could do this before bed, or if you happen to wake up at that 2, 4 a.m. We're trying to not get you to wake up at the 2, 4 a.m. mark. So doing breath work before going to bed is going to be most beneficial. Again, simple breath work. You inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 6. Another thing you can add to this is on the exhale, you can add a hum or a sigh, whatever works for you. That's also, that humming, that vibration is going to reset the vagus nerve as well. It'll also help with chakra alignment. We'll get into that in a different episode, but just know humming really helps. That vibration coming from within helps reset all the things. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6, and repeat that a few times. Also, limit screens and your blue light for at least an hour before sleep. I know that this is like the thing that everybody is talking about. I get it. It's hard to do sometimes, but this is again about being disciplinary with yourself as far as boundaries go, right? Because by doing this, you are allowing your body to rest properly. You don't have to see it as something that is a regimen that is hard to do, like it's like restrictive. That's the word I'm looking for. So don't look at it as something that is restricting you. Just know that it is setting you up for success through the night, which sets you then up for success in the morning. Okay, so an hour before sleep, no screen time, no blue lights. Another thing you can do is create a calming nighttime ritual. You can drink some herbal tea, depending on what your preference is. You could do yoga, some stretching. You do journaling, reading, all those kinds of things. I actually have a ultimate evening ritual guide that pairs with my 7-day morning ritual blueprint. I can link those below, but that evening routine really, again, sets you up for the morning, and then that morning routine will set you up for the rest of your day. So they kind of go hand in hand, right? And again, we won't see that dip in the afternoon if we set ourselves up in the evening. Moving on to sign number 4, let's talk about mood swings. Sure, everybody likes to talk about mood swings, right? So you might notice that you are more irritable, you could be more anxious, or you could just be more emotionally like flat, like you kind of feel kind of numb. Things that used to excite you kind of just feel kind of meh all of a sudden. There's just no excitement, right? And you're just kind of cranky all the time. So what ends up happening with this, as far as your adrenals go, is obviously they're going to be depleted if this is happening, but your body is prioritizing survival mode over emotional resilience. So it's not that you're being too sensitive. It's not that you're not trying hard enough. It's just your body's maxed out. At the end of the day, all of these just come to the fact that your body's done. Just like, chill out, you know? So again, if you're feeling like you're just kind of living on autopilot and you're just going through the motions day in and day out, and it's monotonous and it's not enjoyable anymore, maybe your moods are like all over the place, that's definitely a sign that your system needs care, right? So give yourself space to feel into this, feel into your emotions with no judgment. Breath work is something that will really help you work through that as well. There's plenty of guides on YouTube. I do this with my clients all the time too, is breath work. It really helps heal the somatic system, aka your nervous system. Just try a daily check-in, right? How am I today? Really, how am I today? Or how does my body feel today? What is showing up in my body this morning, right? That's part of the morning rituals that we've talked about in previous podcasts. Just checking in with yourself. Check in with yourself in the morning. See how you're feeling. Check in with yourself in the afternoon. How are you feeling? And then before bed, how did I do today, right? Giving yourself the space to actually feel into your emotions is really going to help you connect with those emotions. So you won't be feeling numb, you won't be feeling anxious, all of these things. Gentle movement, even just 5 minutes a day, getting out in nature, getting in the sunlight, all of these things help reset your mood. And this is something that I talk about in both of my rituals blueprints, so the morning and the evening one. You guys can pick those up. The morning one is free. The upsell to that is the evening routines, and that's $27. So very, very cheap, worth the investment on that, because it's going to set you up literally for the rest of your day. So another thing you can do with this is reaching out for connection. Community support can definitely buffer stress. I vent to my friends all the time, different friends, different things. And even just hearing myself say the things out loud oftentimes gives me a better perspective and allows me to be like, oh, right. And then they sometimes don't even need to interject. It's just the fact that I'm able to vent to them. So again, allowing yourself to feel the feelings, allowing yourself into those emotions is what really is going to bring you back to allowing your adrenals to replenish themselves. Again, we're just making our body feel safe. We're making our nervous system feel safe. Number 5, the last one for today, is an increased sensitivity to stress. So suddenly all the little things that used to not bother you now really bother you. Things like emails or traffic. Unless you live where I live, then it's just always a thing. Minor disagreements are, more stressful. You're more sensitive to them. They get overwhelming. Your stress bucket, so to say, is overflowing. It's like you just don't have the capacity. You're literally maxed out. Another sign your adrenals are depleted. So what ends up happening here is your body's ability to kind of navigate that stress levels is completely depleted, because you got to think your cortisol levels are already capped out. There's no more space for you to fill the cup. It's done. It's full. Your cortisol cup is full, and it doesn't matter what you do. Any little nuance is going to just trigger you, right? It could be anxiousness, it could be overwhelm, whatever it is. So if you're snapping at your partner or your friends or your family, it's not a sign that anything is wrong with you. It's just your body saying enough, right? So what I want you to do is say no to something that is non-essential this week. We often see the adrenal fatigue in us women who have been raised to be people pleasers, who have been raised to say yes to all of the opportunities that come to them. There could be a fear of missing out, or there could be a feeling of obligation to showing up for other people all the time, right? And we don't take into account what that actually looks and feels like for us, not only mentally, but emotionally and actually physically too, because we're talking about our hormones, right? So I want you to say no to something essential, to something non-essential this week. We're going to start small. I want you to practice some grounding. So I want you to go outside and I want you to stand barefoot on the earth. I want you to place your hand on your heart and I want you to take a slow breath. I'm going to inhale and exhale very slowly while you're barefoot. And I want you to just feel the earth beneath your feet. Feel the breeze, feel the sun, hear the birds, all the things. Feel all of your senses while you're standing barefoot. Most of all, when you have your hand on your heart, feel yourself, like your soul. Feel into yourself and just be. Stop trying to be a human doing and be a human being. So, consider also a short nervous system reset. This could be box breathing, something that we talked about just a few minutes ago. You're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. And that's where the box goes. You can actually draw a box if that helps. You can go in for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. You can just draw this box. Breathwork's really essential for all of this. This is why somatic healing is part of both of my programs, my 30-day and my 90-day program, because it works. It works to help reset. I think a few weeks ago, we also talked about legs up the wall. That's another way to reset your nervous system. We just really want our nervous system to feel safe so that it can start regulating in the way that we need it to. So again, let's just review the 5 signs. Sorry. The first one was your afternoon energy crash. The second one was salt and sugar cravings. The third one was feeling wired and tired, so you're having sleep issues. The fourth one was mood swings, feeling irritable or feeling numb. And the last one we just talked about was your increased sensitivity to stress, things that you could care less about before now really bother you. If you're able to do this right now, let's do a little something right quick. So if you're able to close your eyes, please don't do this if you're driving. Pretty please don't do this if you're driving. But if you're able to, close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath, okay? Then I want you to place a hand on your heart or belly or both. And I want you to remind yourself, I am allowed to rest. My body is wise. I am worthy of support. You take a deep breath again. And I want you to notice what comes up. Let yourself feel seen for just a moment. If you want to repeat it, you can. You do it again. I am allowed to rest. My body is wise. I am worthy of support. And just sit with that for a minute. When you're doing your breathwork sessions, you can think of this. And with the ending of your breathwork sessions, you really just want to sit there for a few minutes and feel into what's coming up for you. Feel into the emotions. Feel into the thoughts and let it go. Surrender, because it's okay. It is okay to let go. It is okay to not be in control all the time. It is okay to feel your feelings. And it's okay to not fixate on the past, to not worry about the future. It is okay to just be and be present in this very moment for yourself, not for anybody else. So if any of these signs resonated, then I want to extend an invitation to you. I want you to start with one small change. It could be a mineral-rich snack. It could be breath work. It could be saying no to something that's literally draining your energy. But if you want more support, I have a 30-day program that you're more than welcome to join. It's called the Hormone Reset Essentials. And it's designed to help you restore your energy and balance in 30 days without hustle, without overwhelm, simple, easy to follow steps. I'll put the link in the show notes. or you can DM me on Instagram. You can also email me. However you feel like contacting me, you can contact me. And we could chat about what the next 30 days could look like for you, how we can get you back on track so that your adrenals don't completely fail. Because that's the last thing that I want for you. That's the last thing I'm sure you want for you. And I'm pretty sure it's the last thing that everybody around you wants for you too. So ladies, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for honoring your body. Thank you for trusting your inner wisdom. Again, if this episode resonated, share it with a friend, leave a review, screenshot, tag me on Instagram, all the things, because your healing journey matters. And please know that you're never alone. All right? All right. Until next time, you guys keep honoring your needs, keep listening to your body, and I will see you guys here next week.